Remember that it is not the things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them. Epictetus. What if I told you that when someone humiliates you in front of others, it says far more about their own insecurities than your worth? It's painful, humiliating, and can shake your confidence to the core. But here's the truth. People who try to bring you down in public are often fighting their own battles, trying to control how others see you because they can't control themselves. In this video, we'll explore 6 powerful reasons why people humiliate you in front of everyone. Understanding these motives isn't just about knowing your enemies. It's about reclaiming your power and learning how to respond with the calm and strength of a true Stoic. Stick with me till the end, because the lessons here will change how you view humiliation, and more importantly, how you let it affect you. You'll gain tools to protect your peace and keep your dignity unshaken, no matter what anyone says or does. Don't miss out on these insights. Your inner strength depends on it. Number 1, to assert control and dominance over you. You need to understand this clearly. When someone humiliates you in front of others, it's often about one thing: control. They want to show dominance over you. It's not just about the moment of embarrassment. It's about establishing power, making you feel small so they can feel bigger. This is a tactic, and if you don't catch it, it will keep happening. The Stoics teach us a crucial lesson here. Seneca said, "No man is hurt but by himself." What does that mean? It means that no one can truly control you unless you let them. When someone tries to humiliate you, the power is in your response. The moment you realize they are seeking control, you take the first step to break their grip. So what can you do? First, stay calm. Don't react with anger or shame. When you hold your composure, you deny them the reaction they crave. It's like refusing to play their game. Practice this. Next time you feel a rush of embarrassment or anger, pause, take a deep breath, and remind yourself, I am the master of my emotions, not this person. Another key move is to build your inner fortress. Strengthen your self-worth through reflection and journaling. Write down what matters to you and why you won't let anyone's words define you. This anchors you, making you less vulnerable to attacks. Remember, control is an illusion for the one humiliating you. Real control lies in your hands. Said, if someone is able to show me that what I think or do is wrong, I will gladly change. But if not, no one can force you to feel less than you are. Take action now. Start by observing when others try to assert dominance. Recognize their tactics, but don't let them win. Your silence, your calm, your confidence, these are your weapons. Use them to reclaim your power. You deserve respect, not because of what you show the world, but because of who you are inside. Let that be your foundation. No humiliation from others can shake that unless you allow it. Stay firm, stay steady, and watch how your strength dismantles their attempts to control you. Number 2, to expose your vulnerabilities and weaken your confidence. You've probably felt it before, that sharp sting when someone humiliates you in front of others. It's not just about the moment. Often, it's a deliberate move to expose your vulnerabilities and chip away at your confidence. When people do this, they want to weaken you, to make you doubt yourself in the eyes of those around you. But here's the truth you need to grab onto. Your confidence is yours to protect, and no one has the power to take it unless you let them. Seneca said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." The hunger to expose you often comes from someone else's insecurity or desire to feel superior. They want you to feel small, to reveal cracks in your armor so they can control the narrative. But your strength lies in owning those cracks, in standing tall regardless of the noise. Here's your call to action. Start by identifying your vulnerabilities, not as weaknesses, but as parts of you to understand and embrace. When someone tries to shame you, pause. Remind yourself that their attack is a reflection of their own battle, not your worth. You control how you react. Try this exercise. Each day, write down one thing about yourself that you felt vulnerable about. Then, write a counterpoint, how that vulnerability has made you stronger or more human. This practice rewires your mind to see confidence as something built from acceptance, not perfection. Remember what Epictetus taught us. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. The power to protect your confidence starts with your response. When humiliation comes your way, meet it with calm. Your silence can be louder than any insult. Your composure can shut down their power. So fortify your inner fortress. Your confidence isn't a fragile thing, it's a well-earned strength. Don't give anyone the key to unlock it. Instead, own your vulnerabilities, transform them into resilience, and watch how people lose the ability to shake you. Your confidence is your shield. Use it wisely. Number 3, to distract from their own insecurities and flaws. You ever notice how some people throw shade or humiliate others in public like it's their go-to move? Here's a secret. Most of the time, it's not really about you. It's about them. They're desperately trying to cover up their own insecurities and flaws. When someone puts you down in front of everyone, they're not just attacking. You're witnessing their attempt to hide something they don't want you to see. Once said, "If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth." The people humiliating you, they're not looking for truth. They're running from it. They're scared that if attention shifts away from them, their weaknesses will be exposed. So instead of owning their struggles, they throw others under the spotlight, hoping to distract everyone, including themselves. Here's the thing. When you understand this, their power over you diminishes. You start to see their actions for what they are, not a reflection of your worth, but a sign of their fear. You don't have to swallow the bait. Don't give them control over your emotions or self-esteem. Try this. Next time you feel the sting of public humiliation, pause, breathe. Remind yourself that their attack says more about their state than yours. Write it down in a journal. Their words reflect their fear, not my value. Repeat it until you believe it. This simple practice builds your resilience. Epictetus taught that it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. So, react with calm and clarity. Keep your dignity intact and let their insecurity reveal itself while you stay unshaken. You've got a choice every time someone tries to drag you down. Choose strength. Choose peace. Choose to rise above their distractions. Because when you do, you rob their cruelty of its meaning and reclaim your own power. Number 4, to test your reaction and provoke an emotional response. You know that sinking feeling when someone humiliates you right in front of others. It's like they're trying to pull something out of you, a reaction, a crack in your armor. The truth is, many times people humiliate you to test your reaction, to provoke an emotional response. They want to see if you'll lose control, if you'll show anger, embarrassment, or weakness. It's not just cruelty for cruelty's sake. It's a challenge to your self-mastery. Remember what Seneca said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This applies here perfectly. When someone tries to get under your skin publicly, they're aiming to rattle your mind. But the power isn't theirs, it's yours to give. The moment you let anger or shame spill out, they win. If you hold steady, if you show calm, you take back the power. So what can you do? First, practice emotional self-control like a Stoic warrior. When faced with humiliation, take a breath, a deep, deliberate breath. Pause, don't respond immediately. This simple act breaks their script. It stops the cycle. Next, remind yourself this. Their provocation is about them, not you. Their need to push buttons stems from their own insecurities, fears, or desires for control. Your emotional calm becomes a mirror reflecting their chaos back on them, not the other way around. Here's an exercise for you. The next time you feel triggered, imagine you're watching the situation from outside your body. See yourself as a calm observer, unaffected. This distance helps detach you from immediate emotion and keeps your mind clear. Epictetus wisely taught, it's not what happens to you but how you react to it that matters. This is your mantra. When humiliation comes, don't rush to react. Choose your response with intention, not impulse. Start training your mind now. Build that inner fortress of tranquility. When you do, humiliation loses its sting. People will test you, yes, but you will stand unmoved, untouchable. That's strength. That's freedom. That's true Stoic power. Number 5, to gain social approval or boost their own status. Here's a truth you need to hold close. Sometimes people humiliate you in front of others just to climb higher on the social ladder. They want to boost their own status, and your moment of embarrassment becomes their stepping stone. It's ugly, but it's real. The Stoics understood this well. Seneca said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." Those who seek to raise themselves by tearing others down are starving inside, hungry for approval, for dominance, for control. But here, the key. Their need to prove themselves doesn't define you. It says everything about their insecurity, not your worth. When someone humiliates you to look better, they're showing their own weakness, not your failure. You have the power to see through that. You can choose to rise above it, to hold your dignity steady. Here, what you do. When faced with public humiliation, don't react impulsively. Pause, breathe. Remind yourself, their opinion is a reflection of their character, not mine. This simple exercise shifts your focus from their act to your own inner calm. Another practice, build your self-worth away from others' judgments. Each day, write down one thing you did well or a value you lived by. Over time, this builds armor that no humiliation can pierce. Remember, as Epictetus taught, it's not what happens to you but how you react to it that matters. You control your response. Use that power. When someone tries to use your humiliation for their gain, don't give them the satisfaction. Stay silent, stay strong, stay grounded. You're not here to boost someone else's ego. You're here to master yourself. So when the world tries to pull you down, remind yourself, your status comes from your character, not their approval. Keep your head high. Keep your heart steady. This is how you win, not by tearing others down, but by standing tall no matter what. Number 6, to manipulate the group dynamics in their favor. You ever notice how sometimes people humiliate you right in front of others, not just to hurt you, but to shift the entire room's energy? Here's the truth. Humiliation can be a tool, a weapon used by someone who wants to manipulate group dynamics and bend the situation to their advantage. They want to reshape the social landscape so they come out on top, leaving you as the target. This isn't about you, it's about control. Think about what Seneca said. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. The fear or shame you feel when someone humiliates you publicly is intense, but you have the power to change how you respond. You don't have to play their game. When someone humiliates you to manipulate the group, they're creating a story, a narrative that makes them look stronger, smarter, or more important. And if you react with anger or embarrassment, you're handing them exactly what they want: control over the atmosphere and the people in it. So what can you do? First, breathe. Ground yourself. Remind yourself that your worth isn't defined by anyone else's words or actions. Said, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. This applies to your reaction. You decide what's right for you. Here's a practical exercise. Next time you feel that sting of public humiliation, pause and observe the situation as if you're an outsider. What's really happening? Who benefits? Detach emotionally for a moment and see through their tactic. This mental shift takes power away from them and gives it back to you. Another exercise is to prepare a calm, steady response in your mind, something simple that can cut through the tension without escalating it. It could be as quiet as a firm, "That's not true," or as composed as, "I see it differently." Practice this until it becomes second nature. Remember, no one can steal your peace unless you let them. You have control over your mind and your reactions. Use that control to disrupt their manipulation and maintain your dignity. That's true strength. That's Stoic power. You're not just surviving these moments, you're mastering them. Step into that power today. Before you go, remember this. No one has the power to diminish your worth unless you let them. The Stoics remind us that our value comes from within, not from the fleeting opinions of others. So, when someone tries to humiliate you, stand firm in your inner fortress, unshaken and unbothered. If you found clarity and strength in these 6 reasons, make sure to carry that wisdom with you every day. Don't let anyone steal your peace or your power. Hit like, share this with those who need to hear it, and subscribe for more timeless Stoic lessons that empower your mind and spirit. Stay strong, stay grounded, and remember, your dignity is yours alone to protect. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. What if I told you that the reason some people try to humiliate you in front of others has less to do with your mistakes and more to do with your strength? That their public attacks are not random. They're strategic, meant to chip away at your confidence, your composure, and your ability to stand tall. You've probably felt it before. The snide comment in a group, the mocking laughter, the subtle joke with a hidden blade. It's not just about the moment, it's about making you question yourself long after the crowd has dispersed. But here's the truth. Every attempt to break your spirit is an opportunity to forge a spirit they can't break. In this video, we're going to uncover 6 deep psychological reasons why people try to publicly crush your dignity, and more importantly, how to respond like a Stoic warrior who never bows to manipulation. Watch until the very end, because once you see these tactics clearly, you'll never be caught off guard again. You'll turn their attempts into fuel for your unshakable resilience. Number 1, to undermine your confidence and make you doubt yourself. To undermine your confidence and make you doubt yourself. Have you ever noticed how, when someone tries to break your spirit publicly, one of their main weapons is to chip away at your confidence? It's no accident. When they shake your belief in yourself, they sow seeds of doubt that spread like wildfire in your mind. Suddenly, what once felt steady and sure becomes shaky and uncertain. This is exactly what they want, to make you question your worth, your decisions, your very identity. But here's the truth. Confidence isn't about being perfect. It's about trusting your ability to keep moving forward despite setbacks, criticism, or noise from the outside world. The Stoics understood this deeply, reminded us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. When others try to undermine you, they're trying to pull your power away from you. But your power lies within your mind, your choices, your resolve. When that public criticism hits you, don't let it penetrate your core. Remember that their attempt to make you doubt yourself is like a wave trying to shake a rock. You are that rock, and while the wave might splash and roar, it cannot uproot what's firmly grounded. Hear how you can defend your confidence when it's under attack. Anchor yourself in your values. Confidence built on external validation is fragile. Instead, root your self-belief in your values, honesty, resilience, integrity. When you know who you are and what you stand for, outside noise loses its grip. Practice daily affirmations. Take a moment every day to remind yourself, I am capable, I am enough, I choose my path. It's simple but powerful. Over time, this practice rewires your brain to trust yourself more deeply. Separate fact from opinion. When someone publicly criticizes or mocks you, ask yourself, is this a fact or merely an opinion? Facts can be addressed and improved. Opinions are just that, opinions, often colored by someone else's bias or insecurity. Reframe the narrative. Instead of letting their words define you, rewrite the story in your mind. If they say, "You're not good enough," counter it with, "I am learning and growing every day." Your narrative shapes your reality. Embrace Stoic reflection. Before reacting, pause and reflect. What is within my control here? Your confidence, your attitude, your response, those are always within your control. Others' attempts to diminish you are outside of it. Build a supportive inner circle. Surround yourself with people who see your true worth and remind you of it when you forget. Their encouragement fuels your inner confidence. It's easy to fall into the trap of doubting yourself when others loudly point fingers. But the moment you allow doubt to creep in, you give away your power. The Stoics teach us to guard our inner citadel fiercely. Your confidence is your fortress. Protect it by nurturing it, feeding it with truth, and refusing to surrender it to those who seek to break you. Remember, no man is hurt but by himself, Epictetus said. This means the real injury comes from the acceptance of doubt, not the doubt itself. You decide what sticks, what shapes your story. So the next time you feel that public attempt to shake your confidence, stand tall. Take a deep breath, ground yourself in your values, and remind yourself, you are stronger than their words. They can try to make you doubt, but they can never make you less than who you truly are. Number 2, to control the narrative and shape others. Opinions about you. When someone tries to break your spirit publicly, one of their core intentions is to control the narrative, to shape how others see you, often in a way that benefits them and diminishes you. This kind of behavior is a strategic move, a way to rewrite the story others tell about you, to plant seeds of doubt and judgment in the minds of onlookers. But here's the thing. This attempt to control your image is a reflection of their own insecurity and desire for power, not your reality. Think about it like this. When they attack you publicly, they're not just trying to hurt your feelings. They're trying to steer the collective opinion, aiming to make people question your character, your intentions, or your worth. They want the spotlight, and unfortunately, that spotlight comes at your expense. But remember, the Stoics teach us that it's not what happens to us, but how we perceive and respond to it that truly matters. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." So, when you realize that their narrative is an external force, one that only has power if you let it, your armor starts to form. You need to take control of your own narrative, your own story. The moment you let someone else define you is the moment you give away your power. Instead, anchor yourself in your values and your truth. No public attack, no twisted tale, can alter who you are unless you permit it. This doesn't mean ignoring the situation or pretending it didn't happen. It means responding with calm, with integrity, and with confidence. Here's a practical step. Next time you feel the sting of public criticism or character assassination, pause and breathe. Reflect on what advised. Choose not to be harmed and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed and you haven't been. This is your call to shift the control back to yourself. You can't stop others from talking, but you can stop their words from poisoning your mind. Another exercise is to write down your core values, those principles that define you at your best, and remind yourself of them daily. When someone tries to rewrite your story, pull out that list. Let it ground you. Let it be your internal narrative louder than any external noise. Finally, consider how you might respond, not react, in those moments. Sometimes the most powerful move is silence. Other times, a measured, clear statement of your truth can cut through the noise and show your strength. The goal is not to win a public argument, but to maintain your inner fortress. Your dignity and your spirit are yours to guard fiercely. Remember, the opinion of others is a passing wind. What remains steady is your character, your response, your resilience. By mastering your narrative, you disarm the attackers. Their attempts to control what others think lose their edge when you stand firm in who you are. That's the essence of Stoic defense. Own your story, and no one can break your spirit. Number 3, to provoke an emotional reaction and make you appear weak. When someone tries to break your spirit publicly, one of their core tactics is to provoke an emotional reaction from you, to unsettle your inner calm and make you seem weak in front of others. It's no accident. This is a deliberate move to shake your foundation, to bait you into losing control, and to undermine your confidence in the eyes of those watching. Here's the truth. When you respond emotionally, whether through anger, fear, embarrassment, or defensiveness, you give them power. You hand over the reins of your mind and emotions. As reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Your adversary's goal is to steal that power by causing a public spectacle of your vulnerability. They want you to blush, to lash out, to fumble your words, or to shrink back. This reaction signals to others, whether in a workplace, social circle, or online, that you are fragile, reactive, or unable to handle pressure. And once that perception takes root, it becomes a weapon against you, shaping how people treat you going forward. They think twice before trusting you or following your lead. But here, where you can flip the script, you don't have to play into their hands. You can cultivate an inner fortress of calm and self-possession that is utterly impenetrable. You can learn to meet their provocations with silence or a composed, deliberate response. This isn't about suppressing emotion, it's about mastering it. Imagine this as a muscle you train. The next time someone tries to needle you publicly, pause, take a deep breath, remind yourself, this is their attempt to break me. I will not give them the satisfaction. By choosing not to react impulsively, you reclaim your power. You show others and yourself that you are steady, strong, and in control. Here's a practical exercise. Practice responding to imagined provocations calmly. Visualize someone trying to embarrass or anger you in public. Now, rehearse your mental response, not with fire but with measured words or silence. Build this habit regularly. Over time, your emotional reflexes will change. When real moments arise, your mind will naturally steer towards calmness. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This is the cornerstone of your defense. Recognize that provocations are external events beyond your control. Your reaction, however, is your domain alone. So your mission is clear. Develop emotional resilience that others cannot crack, no matter how hard they try to break you down publicly. When you do, you not only protect your spirit but also elevate your presence. You become the person others respect, not because you never face challenge, but because you meet it with unwavering composure. Remember, the power to remain unshaken is the ultimate form of silent dominance. They can try to drag you into chaos, but if you refuse to dance, they are left powerless. Your spirit remains intact, and that is victory enough. Number 4, to assert dominance and demonstrate power over you. When someone tries to break your spirit publicly, one core reason is to assert dominance and demonstrate power over you. They want to remind you and everyone watching that they hold the upper hand. It's not just about you as an individual, it's about the display of control, a sort of twisted performance to show who's in charge. But here's the thing, you don't have to let their show define your worth or shake your foundation. Picture this. Power that's flaunted through humiliation is a fragile power. It depends entirely on others accepting the narrative. You hold the real strength when you refuse to buy into it. The Stoics teach us that true power lies within, not in external approval or dominance. Reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. When someone tries to break you publicly, they're trying to wrest control of your inner fortress. But that fortress, your mind, your spirit, that's yours alone. And it's impenetrable when you guard it rightly. Why do they do it publicly? Because power displayed in private is not power at all. Public humiliation is a spectacle designed to weaken you by stripping away your dignity in front of others. It's a control tactic, pure and simple. It's meant to make you doubt yourself, to feel small, to lose your voice. But you can flip this script. How? First, recognize their action as a reflection of their insecurity and need, not your value. They assert dominance not because they are truly powerful, but because they fear losing it. You don't have to feed that fear with your reaction. Second, practice what Epictetus advised. Focus on what is within your control, your reaction. You cannot stop someone from trying to assert dominance, but you can control how you respond. Calmness in the face of chaos is a form of silent power. When you don't rise to the bait, when you maintain your composure, you deny them the victory they crave. Try this exercise. Next time you feel that sting of public humiliation, pause and take 3 deep breaths. Remind yourself, their words or actions do not define me. My response does. This simple practice plants a seed of resilience. Also, remember the power of presence. Your calm, your refusal to be rattled, speaks louder than any shouted insult. It shows others and yourself that your spirit remains unbroken. It's the ultimate form of dominance, ironically, the kind they cannot touch. Lastly, build your inner fortress daily. Strengthen your sense of self through reflection, journaling, or meditation. When you anchor yourself in who you are, no external display of power can shake you. As Seneca said, no man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity with courage. You are stronger than their attempts to diminish you. Their need to assert dominance publicly is just noise. What matters is the quiet, unyielding strength you cultivate inside. Let their power plays remind you to reclaim your power over your mind, your spirit, your peace. Number 5, to distract you from your goals and drain your energy. All right, let's get into this. Why would someone go out of their way to break your spirit in public? One powerful reason is this: to distract you from your goals and drain your energy. And honestly, it's more common than you think. People who try to break you down publicly are often masters of misdirection. They want to pull your focus away from what truly matters, your ambitions, your progress, your inner fire, and instead trap you in their chaotic storm. But here's the kicker: you don't have to let them win. Imagine this. You've set your sights on something important, something that matters deeply to you. Maybe it's a personal goal, a career milestone, or simply growing into the best version of yourself. When someone publicly attacks you, they're throwing a grenade into your mental landscape. Hopping the blast will leave you confused, frustrated, or angry, emotions that sap your energy and cloud your vision. In the wise words of, "You have power over your mind, not outside events," realize this and you will find strength. This is your first shield. Recognize that their attempts to distract you are just external noise. They want to hijack your mental bandwidth because your focus is your greatest weapon. The more they can fragment your attention, the less you'll have available for your purpose. When they publicly undermine you, it's like a virus that tries to infect your day, your mood, your confidence. But here's what you can do to fight back: actively reclaim your mental space. When a situation like this happens, pause, take a breath, ground yourself in your goals. Remind yourself, this moment doesn't define me. My path is bigger than this distraction. Here's a practical exercise. The next time you face public negativity aimed to break your spirit, try this mental reset. Close your eyes briefly, even just for a second or two, and repeat internally, I choose my focus. I choose my energy. Their noise will not control me. This simple act isn't just words. It's a reclaiming of power, a deliberate choice to not give away your energy. Another layer to this is understanding that these attacks are often rooted in others' insecurities and desires to see you falter. Their aim, to keep you tangled in their web of drama so you can't move forward. But the Stoics teach us something profound. External events, especially those driven by others, are indifferent. What matters is how you respond. You get to decide if you let that drama become your reality or if you stand firm, centered on your purpose. Now let's talk about energy. Energy is finite. Every moment you spend reacting to public negativity, you're investing precious resources that should be fueling your growth. So here's a strategy. Channel that energy elsewhere. Dive deeper into your work, your training, your self-improvement. Let your progress be the ultimate response. When they see you unshaken and moving forward, that's the real break to their plan. You might want to journal this. Write down what truly matters to you, what your goals are, and revisit it anytime you feel the pull of distraction. This keeps your vision sharp and your energy aligned. Remember Epictetus' advice. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Know what you want, then don't let anything, not even public attacks, take you off course. So in summary, public attempts to break your spirit aren't just random acts of cruelty. They're calculated moves designed to distract and drain you, but you have the tools to defend yourself. Keep your focus razor sharp. Guard your energy fiercely. Respond with calmness and deliberate action. And above all, remember that your journey is yours alone. No one can take that away unless you let them. You've got this. Now go make it count. Number 6, to isolate you by turning others against you. One of the most insidious tactics people use when trying to break your spirit publicly is isolation. They don't just aim to hurt you directly. They want to cut off your support system by turning others against you. This isn't just about a momentary argument or a disagreement. It's a calculated effort to leave you feeling alone, misunderstood, and vulnerable. And here's the thing. You must see this for what it is, because your power lies in recognizing it and refusing to be broken by it. When someone tries to isolate you, they're attacking your social armor. Humans are wired to find strength in connection. When that connection frays or breaks, it feels like a personal defeat, an erosion of your very foundation. But the Stoics teach us that your inner fortress is your own mind and character. Reminds us, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Your spirit is your fortress. No one else's opinion can breach it unless you allow it. So what can you do? First, start by seeing through the smoke screen. Recognize that when someone sows discord, it's often because they fear your strength or want to control your narrative. Their effort to turn others against you is less about your actual worth and more about their own insecurities or agendas. This awareness weakens their power over you. Next, don't retreat into silence or shame. Instead, be proactive in nurturing your relationships. Reach out, honestly and calmly. People respond to genuine communication, and you owe it to yourself to clarify your truth without aggression. This builds resilience in your community and cuts off the isolation tactic at its root. Remember Epictetus' wisdom. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. When faced with isolation, react by strengthening your emotional independence. Practice daily affirmations to remind yourself that your worth is intrinsic and cannot be diminished by others' opinions. Journal your thoughts and feelings. This helps you stay grounded, clarify your perspective, and regain control of your narrative. Here's a practical exercise. Each day, write down 3 qualities about yourself that you respect. They can be as simple as I am honest, or I show kindness, or I stay calm under pressure. When someone tries to isolate you, these truths become your anchor. You're reminding yourself, silently but firmly, that you are more than their attempts to divide you. Lastly, cultivate compassion, not for your adversary, but for those who may be turned against you. Often, people caught in the web of manipulation don't realize it. They are pawns rather than players. By holding compassion, you don't weaken your position. You elevate yourself above petty games. It aligns with the Stoic ideal of focusing on what you can control, your own mind and actions. Isolation is a weapon designed to shake your confidence, but it can't penetrate the walls of a mind fortified by reason and self-knowledge. The moment you recognize the tactic for what it is, you disarm it. When you hold your ground with calm and clarity, the attempt to fracture your world only reveals your true strength. So when you feel the pressure of isolation mounting, ask yourself, am I going to let this fracture my spirit, or will I use it as a stepping stone to deeper resilience? The choice is yours, and that is power. Now that you know exactly why they target your spirit in public, remember this. Their attacks only have power if you let them. You are stronger than their words, their judgments, and their attempts to break you down. Stand firm like the Stoics did, unshaken, grounded, and silent in your strength. Protect your peace, guard your dignity, and keep your spirit unbreakable. If you found value in this, make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss the tools to defend yourself wisely in a world that tests you. And drop a comment below. What's the strongest way you've protected your spirit when faced with public attacks? Stay resilient, keep your mind clear, and remember, no one can shatter what you refuse to give away. Until next time, keep your defense strong and your spirit unbreakable. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Marcus Aurelius. What if I told you that many men unknowingly sabotage their own lives by saying just 6 simple things? Things that reveal a mindset stuck in ignorance and weakness, keeping them trapped in frustration and failure. Maybe you've heard these phrases yourself, or worse, said them, without realizing how deeply they limit your potential. In this video, we'll expose the 6 things a stupid man always says and show you why these words are the silent enemies of growth, confidence, and true strength. These aren't just silly remarks. They are reflections of a flawed mindset that Stoic philosophy warns us against. If you want to rise above the noise, gain clarity, and build an unshakable mindset rooted in wisdom, you must watch this video till the very end. Every point you'll discover is a stepping stone to mastering your emotions, reclaiming control, and living like a modern Stoic warrior. Ready to break free from the chains of foolish talk? Let's dive in. Your transformation starts now. Number 1, I need everyone to agree with me. One of the quickest signs that someone, thinking like a fool, is when they insist, I need everyone to agree with me. Think about it. Why do you feel this way? Why does your sense of worth depend on universal approval? If you're constantly chasing agreement, you're handing over control of your mind and peace to others. That's a trap. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoics, reminds us that if someone can prove me wrong and show me my mistake in any thought or action, I shall gladly change. I seek the truth, which never harmed anyone. See, the goal isn't to be right all the time or have everyone nod along. The goal is to be aligned with reality and virtue. When you demand agreement, you're actually chasing a mirage, an illusion that if everyone validates you, you are somehow more secure or important. But real strength, it's standing firm in your values and reason even when the crowd disagrees. Here, what you can do starting today. When you feel that itch, that need to get everyone on your side, pause. Take a breath and remind yourself, not everyone's opinion defines me. Your peace comes from within. Practice distinguishing between what you control, your thoughts, your actions, and what you don't, others' beliefs, judgments. Try this practical exercise. The next time you feel the urge to seek universal agreement, deliberately step back. Ask yourself, is this disagreement a threat to my virtue or my truth? Most of the time, it's not. It's just noise. This little mental habit rewires your brain toward emotional independence. Remember, the Stoics teach that it's foolish to let your happiness depend on the approval of others. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." So, don't waste energy trying to control what is outside your control, other people's opinions. You don't need everyone's agreement to live a life of purpose and integrity. In fact, embracing dissent can sharpen your understanding and help you grow. Start building that inner fortress of calm and confidence today, where your value isn't up for debate. Number 2, why does life have to be so unfair to me? Why does life have to be so unfair to me? If this sentence has ever popped into your head, it's time to pause and reconsider the story you're telling yourself. Because, let's be real, thinking like this is exactly what keeps you stuck, powerless, and frustrated. It's the hallmark of a mindset that refuses to take ownership and instead plays the victim. Stoicism teaches us something powerful here. Life itself isn't unfair. Life simply is. It doesn't owe you anything, and neither does the world. Your challenge isn't to make life fair, it's to train your mind to respond with wisdom, strength, and resilience no matter what gets thrown at you. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." See, life's obstacles are not enemies but opportunities for growth. When you say, "Why does life have to be so unfair?" you're putting yourself in a reactive position. You're letting external circumstances control your emotions and your power. But what if you flip the script? What if, instead of lamenting the unfairness, you chose to focus on what's within your control, your thoughts, your reactions, your choices? That's the real freedom. Here's a simple exercise to get started. The next time you feel like blaming the world, stop. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, what can I control right now? It might be your attitude, your next action, or how you treat someone else. Focus on that. Let go of the rest. Another practical habit is journaling daily on this question. How did I respond to difficulty today? Did I blame, complain, or take action? Writing this down brings awareness and creates a shift in your mindset over time. Remember, Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." If you keep thinking life is unfair, you'll stay stuck in frustration. But if you start responding like a Stoic, calm, strong, and purposeful, you reclaim your power. So drop the question, "Why does life have to be so unfair to me?" and replace it with, "How can I turn this challenge into my advantage?" That's the mindset that wins. That's the mindset that transforms struggle into strength. You've got this. Number 3, I can't control what happens to me. You might catch yourself saying, "I can't control what happens to me." And honestly, it sounds reasonable, right? Life throws curveballs, unexpected things occur, chaos is real. But here's the thing, while you absolutely can't control every event that lands on your path, you can control how you respond to it. That distinction, it's everything. It's what separates the man who feels powerless from the man who takes charge of his own mind. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoics, said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Feel that. It's a call to action. You might not control the storm, but you can control whether you stand firm or crumble in the rain. Now, this isn't just some motivational fluff. It's a mindset shift you can practice, train, and master daily. When you catch yourself blaming the world for your problems, pause. Ask yourself, what's in my control right now? The answer will always be your thoughts, your judgments, your reactions, and that's where your power lies. Try this simple exercise. The next time something unexpected throws you off, stop, breathe, label the event as outside your control, then immediately shift focus inward. What can you do? Can you change your attitude? Can you learn from it? Can you adjust your plan? This practice rewires your brain away from victimhood and towards resilience. Remember, it's not about denying reality or pretending you're a master of everything. It's about refusing to be ruled by events. The Stoics didn't seek to escape life's difficulties. They trained themselves to dance with them gracefully. So next time you're tempted to say, "I can't control what happens to me," remember, you can control your mind. And that control is the key to freedom. Start small, start now. Control your mind and watch how your life changes. Number 4, people owe me respect and attention. Here's a tough pill to swallow. Nobody owes you respect or attention. That belief that people must treat you a certain way is one of the biggest traps that foolish men fall into. It's easy to think, I deserve respect just because I exist, or people should listen when I speak. But this expectation, it's a recipe for frustration and disappointment. Marcus Aurelius taught that external things, like others' opinions or how they treat you, are beyond your control. Your power lies in how you respond. Expecting respect or attention as a right puts your happiness in the hands of others, which is dangerous and unstable. Why? Because people will never consistently behave exactly how you want. Sometimes they'll ignore you, dismiss you, or even disrespect you. That's life. You can't control their actions, only your reaction. So here's the shift you need. Stop thinking you're owed respect. Instead, focus on earning it through your character, your actions, your integrity. True respect is given, never demanded. When you act with virtue, people naturally notice. But even if they don't, your peace shouldn't depend on their recognition. Try this practical exercise. When you catch yourself feeling annoyed or upset because someone ignored or disrespected you, pause. Ask, am I expecting something from this person that's beyond my control? Then remind yourself, my worth is not defined by their behavior. Practice stepping back emotionally. Cultivate calm acceptance. Seneca said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." That craving for forced respect is a kind of poverty. You become poor in spirit if your value is tied to others' attention. Instead, cultivate self-respect. Stand tall in your own values. Be the man who doesn't need external validation to feel whole. That's true power. When you stop demanding respect and start living worthy of it, your confidence grows, and with it, the respect you seek will follow naturally. Remember, your peace and dignity come from within, not from others' fleeting approval. Own that truth today. Number 5, I'm a victim of my circumstances. Saying I'm a victim of my circumstances is one of the quickest ways to give away your power, and it's something a stupid man often falls into without even realizing it. When you tell yourself this, you're basically signing up to live life on someone else's terms. You're handing over the steering wheel and letting your environment, your past, or your situation dictate your happiness, your growth, and your success. That's a dangerous place to be. Stoic philosophy flips this thinking on its head. It teaches you that you are not the circumstances you face. You are the one who chooses how to respond to them. Epictetus nailed it when he said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Your external world might be messy, unfair, or unpredictable, but inside you, there's a fortress of control. Your mind, your attitude, your effort, those are yours and yours alone. So what happens when you stop playing the victim? Everything changes. Suddenly, the challenges become your teachers and obstacles transform into stepping stones. You start focusing on what you can control rather than being paralyzed by what you can't. And that's where real growth begins. Here's a simple but powerful exercise. Whenever you catch yourself thinking, "I'm a victim," pause and ask, "What is within my power right now?" Could it be your mindset, your next action, your daily habits? Shift your attention there. Make that your battleground. Another habit that helps is journaling. Write down one situation where you felt victimized and then challenge that thought. Ask yourself, what choices do I have in this? How can I act with wisdom and courage despite this? Remember, Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this and you will find strength. Victimhood is a trap. It's a story you tell yourself that keeps you stuck, but you don't have to live in that story. You can rewrite it every day, starting now. So drop the victim mentality. Own your power, take control. Because no matter what life throws at you, your response defines who you are and who you will become. Number 6, I'll start tomorrow, today's too hard. You tell yourself, "I'll start tomorrow, today's too hard." Sound familiar? It's that little lie you feed yourself when the weight of action feels heavy, when the mountain looks too steep, the path too rough. But here's the catch. Tomorrow never comes without you showing up today. Waiting for the perfect moment is just another way of delaying your own progress. Epictetus, a great Stoic teacher, reminds us, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. That means stop waiting for motivation or ease. Life won't always hand you a smooth day. Sometimes it's tough, uncomfortable, even painful. But growth happens in those tough moments, not when you wait on the sidelines. You might feel overwhelmed right now. Maybe the task is big. Maybe your energy is low. That's exactly why you have to start right now. Not tomorrow, not later. Because the only way to conquer hardship is to face it bit by bit. The Stoics call this taking up your cross, embracing difficulty as the necessary path to strength. Here's a practical exercise. When you feel like delaying, set a timer for just 5 minutes. Commit to doing anything related to your goal for those 5 minutes. That's it. Often, starting is the hardest part. Once you break the ice, momentum takes over. You might even surprise yourself by going beyond 5 minutes. Remember, every big change begins with a single step. The longest journey starts with that first move. Don't give power to your fears or the discomfort of today by pushing your life to tomorrow. Your growth waits on your decision to show up now, no matter how small the effort. So when you catch yourself thinking, "Today's too hard," challenge it. Ask yourself, what can I do right now, even if it's small? Because the power isn't in perfect conditions, it's in your commitment to start anyway. Don't be the man who lets life slip through hesitation. Be the man who acts, who fights, who starts today. Your future self will thank you. Thanks for watching. Remember, the difference between wisdom and foolishness starts with the words you choose and the mindset you build. If you caught yourself saying any of these 6 things, don't stress. Awareness is the first step toward growth. Take control of your thoughts, master your reactions, and practice the timeless wisdom of the Stoics every day. If you want more practical philosophy that can change your life, hit that subscribe button and join the journey. Drop a comment below telling me which one of these things you've caught yourself saying and how you plan to flip it around. Until next time, stay calm, stay disciplined, and keep growing stronger inside and out. Stoicism isn't just ancient wisdom, it's your modern power move. See you in the next video. He who is brave is free. Seneca. What if I told you that the most powerful thing you can do in many situations isn't to argue, explain, or defend yourself, but to say absolutely nothing? Imagine a heated conversation, a tense meeting, or even a personal conflict where words often make things worse. What if the key to influence, respect, and clarity was simply silence? In today's world, we're trained to react, respond, and prove ourselves constantly. But Stoicism teaches us something radical. Restraint is strength. Knowing when to speak and when to stay silent can give you an almost unfair advantage in life. It's a subtle power, but one that can transform your relationships, decision-making, and even your inner peace. In this video, we're diving into 6 specific times when silence isn't just golden, it's your ultimate weapon. These aren't vague suggestions. These are practical, real-life scenarios where holding your tongue can make you smarter, stronger, and more respected. So stick around till the very end, because missing even one of these moments could cost you influence, composure, or the upper hand. By the time we finish, you'll see why saying nothing isn't weakness, it's mastery. Number 1, when someone boasts about their achievements. When someone starts boasting about their achievements, your first instinct might be to respond, maybe to congratulate them, maybe to one-up them, or maybe to defend your own worth. But here's the thing, you don't always have to say a single word. In fact, often the most powerful response is silence. Yes, silence. The Stoics believed that our energy should be spent on what we can control, not on what others do or say. Reminded himself, the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. When someone brags, it's easy to get pulled into a game of validation or comparison, but your power lies in stepping out of that game entirely. You don't need to prove yourself, to match their words, or to seek approval. You simply need to remain grounded in your own integrity. Silence in this moment is not weakness. It is a declaration of self-control. It's saying without words that your peace and focus are far more important than empty chatter or the fleeting rush of recognition. When you choose to listen rather than react, you are exercising a form of discipline that most people rarely understand. You are quietly observing, weighing, and choosing how, or even if, you want to respond. This isn't about being passive, it's about being strategic. It's about letting your life and actions speak louder than any boast ever could. Here's a practical way to practice this. The next time someone brags or tries to draw attention to themselves at your expense, consciously pause. Take a slow breath. Feel the impulse to respond and then let it pass without giving it life. You can even visualize it as a wave. Your urge to react rises, and then it crashes harmlessly back into the ocean of your calm. Try to hold this silence for just a few seconds at first, and then gradually lengthen it. Soon, you'll notice how much clearer your mind feels and how much stronger your presence becomes. People start to notice, without you having to say a word. Remember, your silence is a mirror. It reflects confidence, patience, and self-mastery. Seneca said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." When someone brags, the discomfort you feel is usually in your mind, not in the reality of the situation. By remaining quiet, you are practicing a form of Stoic armor, protecting your inner peace from external chaos. Your calm, steady presence becomes far more compelling than any boastful speech. Another exercise to make this habitual is to set aside a moment each day to reflect on your responses to others' words. Ask yourself, when someone seeks attention or validation, how can I respond with calm? How can I preserve my peace? You can even practice in front of a mirror, rehearsing silence as a choice, feeling its weight and its power. Over time, your default reaction will shift from impulsive engagement to intentional stillness. So when someone starts boasting about their achievements, remember this. You don't need to compete. You don't need to react. You don't even need to acknowledge them. Let your silence speak for you. Let it carry the message that your worth, your energy, and your time are too valuable to waste. Embrace the quiet strength that Stoics championed for centuries and turn what could be a draining moment into a demonstration of self-mastery. This is more than a tactic. It's a habit, a mindset, and ultimately, a way to live with integrity in a world obsessed with noise. Number 2, during moments of anger or frustration. During moments of anger or frustration, your instinct is to react, to speak, to defend, or even to lash out. But what if I told you that every word you rush to say in the heat of the moment often weakens you rather than strengthens you? The Stoics understood this deeply. Seneca once said, "No man was ever wise by chance." Wisdom, especially the wisdom of restraint, isn't accidental, it's practiced, it's intentional. When you feel the heat of irritation or the sting of injustice, that is precisely the moment when your silence can become your most potent weapon. You may think that saying something sharp will release the tension, or that defending yourself immediately will protect your dignity. But in truth, speaking too soon often clouds your judgment and invites more chaos. Silence, however, lets you reclaim control. It gives your mind a moment to breathe, your emotions a moment to settle, and your actions the space to be deliberate. I want you to try something right now. The next time you feel anger rising, don't speak. Instead, close your eyes if you can, take a slow, deliberate breath and count to 10. Let the words form in your mind without leaving your lips. Watch them float there. Ask yourself, do they serve me or do they serve my ego? Reminds us, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Your anger is not a command, it is a signal. It is an invitation to pause, to choose, and to act not as a slave to emotion, but as a master of it. Silence doesn't mean weakness, it means discipline. Every time you hold back your words, you are building an invisible strength, a presence that others can feel even without you saying a single thing. People notice when you are unshaken, when you don't react with every jab, every slight, every provocation. There's a power in that calm, a quiet authority that speaks louder than any argument ever could. Try turning your attention inward during these moments. Focus on your breathing, feel your feet against the ground, notice the rhythm of your heartbeat. Every sensation grounds you, pulls you out of the storm of reactive thoughts, and anchors you in the reality of the present. And here, the key, this is not a one-time experiment. This is a habit you cultivate. Every day, in small irritations and minor frustrations, practice saying nothing. When someone cuts you off, when your plans are disrupted, when someone questions your competence, pause. Hold your tongue. Let silence stretch just long enough for you to respond with clarity, not chaos. Soon, it will become second nature, and you'll notice a remarkable shift. You won't be swept away by fleeting emotions. You'll navigate life with a steadiness that others envy, and you'll discover that silence, carefully chosen, has a resonance that words can never match. Remember, the Stoics didn't simply advocate for silence, they revered it. They knew that in the absence of impulsive speech, your mind sharpens, your wisdom deepens, and your power grows. So the next time your blood boils or your frustration spikes, ask yourself, will my words heal or hurt? Will they clarify or confuse? If the answer isn't obvious, then don't speak. Embrace the pause. Feel the strength in restraint. You're not giving up your voice, you're choosing the perfect moment for it. And when that moment comes, your words will land with precision, impact, and authority. Because you waited, because you measured, because you mastered yourself. Number 3, when faced with false rumors or gossip. When faced with false rumors or gossip, your instinct might be to defend yourself, to shout your truth louder than the lies, or to confront the people spreading them. But let me tell you, most of the time, that's exactly what gives them power over you. Think about what Epictetus said. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Silence in the face of deception isn't weakness. It's a conscious act of self-mastery. When someone throws false words at you, their goal is to provoke an emotional reaction, to unsettle you, to make you feel smaller or less in control. But what if you refuse to give them that satisfaction? What if you made the decision right now that their opinions, their whispers, their distortions won't dictate your inner state? That's where your power begins. You see, gossip is a weapon that thrives on noise. Every time you react, you feed it and it grows. But when you choose silence, you starve it. It's like holding water in your hands. If you squeeze too tight, it slips through. If you let it flow without chasing it, it disappears naturally. Practice this consciously. The next time you hear a lie or a rumor about yourself, pause, breathe. Feel the impulse to correct, to justify, to retaliate, and then let it go. In those moments, remind yourself of wisdom. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Your silence isn't resignation, it's a statement. It says, I am bigger than this. I am not moved by baseless words. I do not let others' weakness define my actions. Here's a practical exercise to help you internalize this habit. Each time you feel that spark of irritation when hearing something untrue, close your eyes for a moment. Count to 10 in your head. Visualize the rumor as a paper boat floating down a stream. You can watch it drift away without touching it. With every breath, feel your control strengthen. This is not just a mental exercise. It's training your mind to separate what belongs to you from what belongs to others. You're reclaiming the mental space that gossip would otherwise invade. Another subtle power of silence is that it creates space for clarity. When you speak impulsively, your words can escalate conflict, spread further misunderstanding, or even backfire. By staying quiet, you let the situation unfold naturally. People reveal themselves, situations clarify, and often the truth emerges in ways that no confrontation could have achieved. It's the quiet patience of a river carving through rock, slow, deliberate, unstoppable. You may feel the itch to respond, but remember, action taken without purpose is wasted energy. Channel that energy inward, reflect, journal, meditate. Ask yourself, does this truly require my involvement, or is my peace worth more than proving a point? Over time, practicing silence in the face of rumors rewires your relationship with power itself. You stop needing validation from others, and their opinions lose their ability to shake you. You become unassailable, like a fortress built on calm and reason. It's a radical shift, but it's transformative. You'll notice people's attempts to provoke you will dwindle. The ones spreading gossip are often seeking chaos. They can't manipulate what doesn't respond. And in your calm, in your deliberate quiet, you demonstrate the essence of Stoic mastery, that your mind, your character, and your serenity are yours alone, impervious to external noise. So start small. Next time someone whispers, pause, don't speak, don't justify, breathe, watch the words pass. Strengthen your ability to observe without reacting. Make it a daily habit. Your silence is not emptiness, it's armor. It's your statement to the world that you are above pettiness, above manipulation, and that your energy is reserved for what truly matters. In this quiet, you don't just survive gossip, you rise above it. Number 4, in the face of insults or provocations. When someone hurls insults at you, pushes your buttons, or tries to provoke a reaction, your first instinct might be to snap back, defend yourself, or even strike with words just as sharp. But here's the thing, you have an untapped weapon far more powerful than any retort. That weapon is silence. Once reminded us, how much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it. When you respond impulsively to provocation, you give power away. You let someone else control your emotions, your focus, and even your sense of peace. But when you choose to remain silent, when you deliberately refuse to feed into the drama, something incredible happens. You take back the power. You assert control, not with words, not with fire, but with a calm and unshakable presence. Silence in the face of insults isn't weakness, it's mastery. It's the quiet understanding that no one has the right to disrupt your inner world without your permission. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. Seneca teaches us, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Most insults, most provocations, they're fleeting shadows. They only sting because you let them. Imagine practicing a pause, a deliberate, mindful gap between the insult and your reaction. Take a breath. Let the words hang in the air. Don't speak. Don't react. Feel the weight of control shift back to you. This isn't about suppressing your feelings. It's about choosing which battles are worthy of your energy. Here's something to try. The next time someone tries to provoke you, physically count to 10 in your head before you say anything. Not 5, not 3, 10. Let the silence stretch. You'll notice something extraordinary. The urge to react diminishes. Your mind clears. You realize that the insult loses its edge the moment you refuse to engage. This is more than a trick. It's a habit, a muscle you can strengthen. Over time, your calm will become almost magnetic. People will notice. They may even underestimate you at first, but that underestimation is where your quiet power grows. Now, silence doesn't mean you let injustice slide, and it doesn't mean you tolerate abuse. It means you are intentional, you are strategic, you are refusing to react on autopilot. You are embodying the Stoic ideal that true freedom is mastering yourself. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Every insult you face is an opportunity, not just to preserve your peace, but to cultivate restraint, patience, and presence. You are training your mind to separate impulse from action, appearance from reality, words from their true meaning. You can make this practical. Start small. When someone makes a cutting remark, instead of responding, say nothing and internally repeat, "I control me, I control my reaction." Feel the power in those words. Let them anchor you. Gradually push it further. Allow silence to stretch longer, letting others fill the space with their own energy while you remain grounded. Soon, you'll notice an almost uncanny effect. Start losing steam. They sense that your calm is impenetrable. Your silence becomes not emptiness, but a force. Remember, every time you resist reacting, you strengthen your character. You prove to yourself that your worth is not dictated by others' opinions. You embrace the Stoic truth that inner peace is your ultimate domain. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. You'll discover that saying nothing isn't passive, it's active, deliberate, and profoundly liberating. So start today. Stand tall. Breathe deeply. When the next insult comes, embrace the silence. Own it. Let it be your sword, your shield, and your secret. In that quiet, you are invincible. Number 5. When dealing with personal loss or grief. When you experience personal loss or grief, the world can feel unbearably loud, as if every thought, every expectation, and every voice around you is pressing in, demanding that you react, that you explain, that you fix what cannot be fixed. But here's the truth that Stoics understood centuries ago. Silence isn't empty. It's not weakness. It's power. As Epictetus reminds us, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Your first instinct might be to speak, to pour out your emotions in a rush, but giving yourself space to just be quiet allows you to truly process, to feel, and to understand the depth of what you're experiencing. Silence is not avoidance. It is the deliberate act of holding your center while the storm rages. You have permission to stop talking, to stop explaining, to stop justifying your grief to the world. When someone loses someone or something precious, the urge to seek comfort externally is strong. But the most profound growth happens when you turn inward. You allow yourself to sit with the rawness, the ache, without trying to mask it with words. This is how you gain clarity, and clarity is the foundation of strength. Once said, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this, you have the power to revoke at any moment. In moments of loss, your silence can be a powerful tool for reclaiming that power. Try this. The next time grief hits, instead of reaching for your phone, a conversation, or a distraction, pause. Close your eyes, breathe. Let each breath carry you deeper into your own awareness. Count 10 deep breaths, and with each one tell yourself, I am present, I am feeling, I am enduring. Don't rush the process. Don't judge yourself for the waves of emotion that rise and fall. Sitting in silence trains you to witness your own mind and your own pain without being swept away. You'll start to notice patterns, triggers, and moments of insight that you would have missed if you were constantly speaking or reacting. Silence in grief also protects your energy. Speaking too soon, explaining too much, or venting repeatedly can drain you further, leaving you exposed and fragmented. When you hold your tongue, you hold your power. You reserve your energy for reflection, healing, and action that truly matters. You begin to understand that loss is part of the human experience, and while it reshapes you, it doesn't have to define you. You are more than the sum of what you've lost, and each quiet moment you spend in conscious reflection strengthens the resilience within you. Here's a small habit you can adopt today. Set aside 15 minutes in your day to simply sit, without distractions, without attempting to control your thoughts, and without speaking. Let your mind drift, let your heart ache, and let your soul absorb the experience. Over time, you'll notice that the urge to react impulsively diminishes, that your grief becomes something you move through rather than something that moves through you. Your silence becomes your sanctuary. Remember, silence is not submission. It's a statement. It's an acknowledgement that your grief deserves space, dignity, and respect. By saying nothing, you honor your pain while also giving yourself the chance to cultivate strength and insight that words alone can never provide. In the quiet, you are learning the art of endurance, the wisdom of observation, and the power of presence. This is not an easy path, but it is a transformative one. Lean into the stillness. Let your grief speak to you, not through your voice, but through the depth of your awareness. Number 6, when confronted with injustice or unfair treatment. When confronted with injustice or unfair treatment, your first instinct might be to react immediately, fire back with words, defend yourself, explain, or even try to prove your point. It feels natural, right? Our minds scream for instant validation, for justice served in the moment. But what if I told you that reacting immediately often gives your power away? Stoic philosophy teaches us that the true measure of strength isn't in the noise we make, but in the calm we maintain. Once reminded us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. When someone treats you unfairly, the only thing you truly control is your response. That means you have the ability to choose silence instead of chaos. Saying nothing in these moments isn't about being weak or passive. It's about mastering your presence. It's about holding the space for yourself while letting the other person reveal themselves through their own behavior. Every word you speak in the heat of injustice has the potential to escalate, to bind you to the negativity, to give the other person more fuel than they deserve. Silence, however, creates space. It's a subtle but powerful message. You refuse to let their actions dictate your peace. You are untouchable in the arena of your own mind. Here, something you can do right now to train yourself. The next time you feel wronged, before you say a single word, take a deep breath and count to 10. Really feel the pause. Let the anger, frustration, or hurt exist without acting on it. Picture yourself as an observer, watching the situation unfold without needing to participate. This simple exercise rewires your instinctual responses. Over time, you'll notice that not only do your words carry more weight when you choose to speak, but your silence alone becomes a formidable force. Imagine the mental clarity and calm you cultivate when you start seeing injustice not as a call to immediate retaliation, but as an opportunity to assert your inner strength. The Stoics believe that events themselves aren't harmful, only our judgments about them are. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." By choosing silence, you are actively choosing to react in alignment with your values, not your emotions. You're training yourself to be unshakable, to create a space where the noise of injustice simply passes through without disrupting your equilibrium. To make this a habit, start small. In your daily interactions, notice the moments that irritate or provoke you. Pause, breathe. Remind yourself that your voice is not always required. Observe the situation, allow your mind to settle, and only speak when your words can serve a purpose rather than feed the fire. Over time, you'll see a shift. People will start noticing the calm authority you exude. Situations that once made your blood boil will lose their grip. Your silence, steady and deliberate, will speak louder than any argument ever could. You have to practice this deliberately. It's not an overnight transformation, but every conscious choice to hold your tongue builds your inner armor. Picture yourself standing tall in the face of unfairness, untouched by provocation, responding with deliberate action, or sometimes with nothing at all. That's where real power lies. That's where you reclaim control over your life, your mind, and your emotional energy. Remember, silence isn't emptiness. It's presence, it's strategy, it's wisdom in action. Let it become your first response when confronted with injustice. Let it define you, guide you, and shield you until your calm becomes so natural that it feels effortless and inevitable. And there you have it, 6 powerful moments when saying nothing speaks louder than words ever could. Remember, silence isn't weakness, it's strategy. In a world that often celebrates noise, your quiet strength can set you apart, sharpen your mind, and protect your peace. If you found these tips valuable, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who could use the power of silence in their life. And comment below, what's the hardest situation for you to stay silent in? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Stay calm, stay strategic, and let your silence do the talking.